welcome back to Ashton Gate. It feels so good saying that with fans here.
Another opportunity, and he's onside, and it's 2 for Bristol City, and this time, and it's in! An early goal for Bristol City, and Andy Vyman is back! And it goes clear header for Bristol City, and they are level! And it's a first goal for Andy King for his boyhood club.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Robins TV. For Bristol's second visit to the Midlands this week, this time to take on the Sky Blues. Nastiness, nous and aggression required, according to captain Dan Bentley, as Bristol City lead into this one. They'll be backed today by 3,000 raucous fans in the away end as well. But for those of you that are joining us overseas, you can watch all the action with myself, and alongside me today is development phase coach Trevor Challis. Trevor, welcome along. First of all, brilliant to have you with us. Could you tell the viewers at home just a little bit more about your role within the club?
Yeah, so I work across the professional development phase. So I work between the under-18s and under-23s. Some of the under-16s that come in over the last holiday term was great, seeing them. So it's our job to help develop them and hopefully see them progress into the first team.
Oh, fantastic. And leading into this one, you know, it's been a difficult couple of results for Nigel Pearson and the sides. 2 away defeats as well that Nigel actually said were winnable games. How are you reflecting on the last couple of weeks?
I think there's been a lot of work going on defensively. Speaking with the coaches that have been involved and watching some of the training sessions, I know there's been a real intensity in the work, especially in the defending phase after the last couple of games. So hopefully we see a resolute performance and a real compactness at the back.
Yeah, and difficulty, as I guess, travelling back from the Midlands, you know, midweek as well. I guess a group maybe slightly down on confidence, but having heard from Dan Bentley and Nigel Pearson during the week as well, there seems to still be a good sort of vibe and culture within the squad, and they are sticking together.
We've seen them working on the training field at the High Performance Centre. They've been excellent as a group. I think the spirits have remained relatively high as they can be, especially off the back of a poor result midweek. But it's down to them as a group now to really stick together and go and get a result. Generally, we've been very good away from home, so I'm hoping that we can stick together and really go and work hard today and get the result today that's needed.
Coventry sitting 4th, ideally where Bristol City would like to be as it stands. They've played some good football so far this season and probably taken a few people by surprise as well. A lot of the players that were with them from the promotion season from League One still as part of that squad. What are you expecting from them today?
Generally, they've been playing a back 3, so I think we know how they're going to set up and how they're going to try and attack us. Callum O'Hare's a very attack-minded number 10 type of player. Fair enough, we played against him in the under-23s a couple of seasons ago when he was at Villa, so we know a bit about him. Bit of a Jack Grealish type of player, so we need to be very, very mindful that we screen him properly from the front and as well as from the back. So we've got to be very careful of them. They've obviously got Ben Sheaf in midfield on a season-long loan from Arsenal. As an Arsenal sort of London boy myself, be interested to see how he does, but hopefully we get tight to him and stop him playing as well.
Well, let's see if those guys are in the side today. Let's have a look at the teams that will go toe-to-toe. Mark Robins' side failing for the first time at home so far this season on Tuesday night against Swansea. He makes 2 changes to his 11. One at right centre-back. Hyam loses his spot. Michael Rose comes in. The Sky Blues, as Trevor said, usually adopting that back 3 with 4 in midfield. The other change comes in there with Allen dropping to the bench in favour of Ben Sheaf, as you said, on loan from Arsenal. Gyökeres, who has 9 goals to his name so far this season, is up front with Godden and O'Hare sitting in behind. And then youngster and top scorer last season, Tyler Walker, is on the bench. Nigel Pearson not in charge today, so Curtis Fleming will lead the side. Our thoughts are with Nigel Pearson as he recovers. Let's see how City shape up. So 4 changes for them. Rob Atkinson is out. He's got a tight calf for Cam Pring. De Silva loses his spot with Callum O'Dowda coming in as more of a wing-back, left-back. A double switch in front of that. Wells drops out, suggesting Scott maybe comes in to sit behind Martin and Vyman. And a straight change in midfield with Matty James as well, picking up a knock, of course, against Birmingham in the week. Masengo comes in for him. Bell and Benarous on the bench. And of course Casey Palmer returning as well, which is fantastic to see. And just on the topic of Alex Scott, we were talking before we went live there. You're expecting or hoping for a big performance from him today?
I think so. I think he's a confident boy. He scored in his last start, and I'm hoping that we see him get on the ball and see him in attacking areas, and hopefully he can make things really tick in and around the box. he's an exciting boy.
Yeah, absolutely. And a young midfield today as well. Backinson, I thought, started the game really brightly against Birmingham, and then Masengo, of course, coming in alongside him too.
I think looking at the way we've lined up, I think it's a really exciting team today. I think you've got Masengo, you've got Tyreek, you've got Scotty playing, Callum O'Dowda. Hopefully we can get him higher up the pitch in 1v1 situations where he can attack the fullback and get good crosses into the box for Chris Martin and Andreas Weimann. So I think it's a real creative mind, but not only that, he's got a real work ethic. He can work backwards really well. So he's a really exciting player for the club going forwards.
Absolutely. Hopefully we get to see him today. Thank you very much, Trevor. Right, well, apologies if you saw a slightly different team sheet there. Hopefully we'll get that for you a bit later on. Let's hear from the man that is in charge today, Curtis Fleming. He's with Robins TV.
Curtis, let's start with the most important thing. Nigel, his health, how is he and have you spoken to him?
Yes, I've spoken to him. I spoke to him last night and spoke to him today about the team and what we're doing, the planning, team, shape, everything that we had to do as he is the manager. And I always stress that I am the assistant manager. But he hasn't been great, if we're honest, and I think that sometimes health has to take priority over football. Sometimes, as much as we love it and it's our vocation and it's our life, I think it's important that he gets himself right. We know our jobs, we're all set, we know what we have to do, so we know he's looking on and he'll get communication to us if he sees anything he needs to change.
Well, we wish him all the best. You have made 4 changes today, quite a young midfield as well. What are your thoughts on what they need to bring?
Well, they need to bring excitement, they need to bring energy, as young players do. You know, we've got to be patient with them. We will make mistakes at times, but we know that they're good technical players. They've trained very, very well, these guys, and you know, as we've said from day one, if you're good enough and you're trying hard enough, you'll get your chance to come in and play. It is youthful, so they will lack experience. We've got to be patient with them sometimes, but at other times it gives them a fearlessness, and it's a brilliant thing to see when you have young players that get on the ball and just don't think about it. They think it's a Saturday and it's just, oh, this is brilliant. And that's what we need to see today.
Callum O'Dowda, he played before the last international break. He will bring some experience, won't he?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We've got, you know, we have Andy there as well. We've got Chris, you know, we've got Thomas. We've got a few senior lads who need to lead these young players around the pitch today. It's going to be a high energy, high tempo game, a technical football game, I would say, and we have to be brave. So I think that we've got a good mix of youth and experience, and it's something that we're really looking forward to. It's a game that, like every championship game, it's very, very winnable, and we have to go and try and do that.
Nigel hinted that perhaps it might be a stretch for Matty James. He's not in today, but no Rob Atkinson.
No, it's disappointing because I think Matty's been outstanding this season for us, as well as on the pitch. He's been brilliant off the pitch with us, and it's a big miss for us. But you know, it gives someone else a chance, as we've said. You've got to be ready to take a chance. And Rob had a tight calf. We tested it yesterday. It was a little bit too tight. We could have maybe thrown him on the pitch today, and he'd break down after 10 minutes. You can't take chances, not when you're playing in high-stake games like this. Every championship game, you've got to go out with 11, you know, fit guys that you can trust. And the international break will give them a chance to get that ready and get ready for the first game after that.
And finally, what do you want to see from the team today?
Well, we want to see energy. We want to see determination. We played some real good stuff against Birmingham without really testing the goalkeeper. 62% in the first half. We talked about the defensive aspects of things. We need to be more clinical in both boxes. We need to clean up when it's in our box. We can't take chances. We tell them, you know, we look at videos. We know what they're going to do, so they have to switch on in the heat of the action. And I think in the final third is a big one for us, because I think we're getting into those positions a lot, but maybe not pulling the trigger when we get a chance of getting the ball into the danger area, and that's something again I'd love to see.
Go well today.
Thank you.
The very pragmatic Curtis Fleming there. Bristol City in safe hands today in the absence of Nigel Pearce. And now one man whose form has certainly not dipped so far this season is captain Dan Bentley, and he recognises his side need to show some fight today.
Ultimately it comes down to grit, determination, mentality, and those are 3 prerequisites in my opinion that we should have every single game.
So Dan, we're going into the Coventry game. We've shown in the past during the season, perhaps after Millwall ahead of Peterborough, that we can bounce back from a setback. How important is to have that mindset going into Saturday?
Very important. I think we know that what happened on Tuesday night was unacceptable. I think until a deflected lucky goal, we were in the game. I thought first half we controlled the ball a lot better than we did in the second half. I thought second half we were probably a little bit too open, maybe not aggressive enough in terms of 1v1 duels, in terms of how we press, in terms of how we defend as a team, and we got punished. And you can't afford, against teams like Birmingham, who we know are going to be aerially aggressive. They know they're going to try and put us under pressure. We can't afford to be as loose as what we was at times in that second half.
Is that how do you address that? Because you obviously can do a lot in training, but when it comes to the game time, what do you need to do to really kind of be that aggressive team you need to be?
I think at times this year we've shown that we can grind results out. There's been games that haven't been pretty. I think you look at the Peterborough game for a prime example of that, where it wasn't pretty. The performance was not the best, but we, in adversity of going behind, we came back and won the game, and that has showed a different side to, I think, what we've shown in recent seasons. But that just can't be a kind of once a month thing or once in a blue moon thing. That's got to be an every week thing. And sometimes we'll play against teams that will allow us to play, and we can play all the pretty football in the world. But ultimately, it comes down to grit, determination, mentality, and those are three prerequisites, in my opinion, that we should have every single game. And that's whether we're playing against someone who plays expansive football and keeps the ball on the floor, or someone that wants to bombard our 18-yard box.
Dan Bentley there with Dave Barton earlier on this week. He'll be hoping he can pick up another clean sheet today. He's certainly leading from the front, Dan Bentley. He talks a great game in the sense that he wants his side to show fight and resilience this afternoon, and that's what they need to do. They need to come out firing today. Absolutely, they're non-negotiables, and that's what every team need to have. They need to have that grit, determination, the ability to tackle, run forwards and run backwards with real good intensity. So where do you think the game will be won today for Bristol City? They're a possession-based side, Coventry as well. They've got some superb players. Where do you think we can really get at Coventry? I think looking at the way we'll possibly set up today, I think if we can sit, be compact, I think we've got real exciting players to hit them on transitions today. And I think as long as we can be secure behind the ball, I think we've got real opportunity to go and hit them on the break with the likes of Callum O'Dowda and just Wyman. I think we've got real players that can hurt them today. Yeah, I was going to touch on Callum O'Dowda as well. He's one of those players City fans love him when he's in the side and he's getting that consistent run. He has real talent, and you're willing him to get a consistent period in the team. Yeah, I think if we could get him higher up the pitch and get him 1v1 against the fullbacks at times, I think he can drop his shoulder and get on the outside, put good quality in the box, and then it's down to what we can do in the box. Fabulous. Thank you very much, Trevor. Right, 15 minutes or so until kick-off. We'll be back after this short break.
We heard the UK's yoghurt-loving superfans wanted something super thick and homegrown. A yoghurt that's high in protein, low in fat and naturally low in sugar. Fit for breakfast, lunch and everything in between. But such a thing didn't exist. So we made our own. Yo Valley Super Thick, lovingly made on home soil.
Paul Archer here from the Nexus Group. Hopefully by now you recognise our logo on the back of the lads' shorts. As a City fan and a Bristol businessman, I want to help as many companies as I can with their recruitment needs, especially as we come out of this awful pandemic and lockdown. And for any customer, new or old, that puts an order in with us before now and the beginning of next season, we'll put you in a draw to win a VIP matchday experience as guests of me and the Nexus team.
Welcome back to Robins TV. Match day again in the Sky Bet Championship. Bristol City travelling to the Coventry Building Society Stadium to take on Coventry, their second trip to the Midlands this week. Hopefully this one is a better visit to the Midlands. We've spoken at length about a number of players already. Just during the advert break there, Trevor, you suggested that Masengo needs to have a big game today and maybe kind of be a bit more controlled in his performance, perhaps?
I think so, and he's got great energy levels. He will butterfly everywhere around the pitch, but at times we just need him to sit in and do a job for the team and let other players go and do them roles at times. But he's been absolutely brilliant for the team, don't get me wrong. It's just that little bit more discipline. He might have to sit behind the ball and it might be Tariq or Alex if they play in the three, whoever plays in there, go and roam into those wide areas where he might have to sit. If he goes into those wide areas when the other players have got to sit in for him. And
what's he been like around the camp as well? He's obviously bulked up, which is visible to see. He's, I guess, maybe become a bit more used to Championship football. Certainly when Nigel Pearson came in as well, his game seemed to switch slightly. What is he like as a character now around the group? Has he grown into the sort of surroundings a bit more?
I have to say he's been an outstanding individual, especially for the younger lads coming up. And it sounds strange saying that because he's only 19. But for the likes of Eamon and Alex and Sam Bell, Tommy Conway, they've become a little clique, a little group, and it's become a really good group because they're always training, they're hitting free kicks, shots, passing, and they're doing that as a group. And to see them working together, doing their individuals, it's been brilliant. And Masengo's have been a big part of that. And
we touched on him earlier on, a player coming up through the ranks in a similar sort of position, Dylan Kaji, a player you've had a lot to do with his growth and development, signed a pro contract this week too. We've seen him a lot in the under-23s. One really exciting player for the future.
First of all, I think the schoolboy coaches that have been involved in this progress have been brilliant in Dylan because he's now come to a point where he's an outstanding individual, not only as a footballer but as a young man as well. Originally from London, so was at Luton's Academy, relocated to the Bristol area, and we moved quickly to secure Dylan. A lot of feedback from Luton was that he was one of their outstanding boys, and he's just grown. He's a number 8 that can do a box-to-box midfield role. He can attack a box and he can defend in the other box. His passing's become very, very good. His first contact, he's a big tall boy. He can win a header and he can tackle as well. And for the last 2 years, as a first-year scholar and a second-year scholar, he's been consistently playing in the under-23. So to be doing that at his age has been really, really good.
Yeah, and I can tell you're very excited about that crop of players coming through. You've obviously been with the club for a number of years now, and you've seen the likes of Riley Towler, Tommy Conway as well coming through. It's exciting times for the club. I know results haven't been going our way, but just looking at the under-23s and those players that are coming through, there's so much promise among them.
There is, and as I said, they've grown together, and we've tried to develop a practicing culture where they're always doing extras after training, and this group of players have been excellent. They've led the way on that. The training has been easy for us as coaches because they make the training sessions very, very easy. And
Riley, you've obviously got links up at Grimsby. He seems to be getting on so well, and he's one of the success stories, certainly from this loan period.
Yeah, the feedback from the coaches up at Grimsby that I speak to is he's quickly become a fan's favourite. Lovely left foot, he's heading it, he's tackling, he's blocking, he's doing everything required at the National League level. And it's just getting the timing right of when he comes back and helps the first team or goes into that first team environment. But Riley's been doing really, really well at Grimsby.
And another player as well in a similar sort of bracket, Tommy Conway, not too far away?
Yeah, he's had a little bit of an injury, a little setback, but Tommy's worked really hard in the gym. He's worked really hard with the medical and the sports science team. We've seen him run on the pitches now, so I think that will give everybody a little bit of a lift when we see Tommy back on the pitch as well, because he's another outstanding individual that goes into that group of players.
Yeah, and I just want to switch to maybe a slightly more senior member of the squad now, Chris Martin. He maybe gets a bit of a raw deal at times for his role in the side. He does do, I guess, to somebody with an extensive footballing knowledge, for example, he does a lot for the team aside from just putting the ball in the back of the net, and he maybe gets a bit of a rough treatment.
He's another one that's been outstanding in and around the high performance centre with the young lads coming through. A lot of advice given when required, but I think on the pitch as well, you hear him giving little nuggets of information to the likes of Eamon when he come on against Barnsley, to Alex Scott, so he's been invaluable, I think, for their development as well.
Perfect, thank you very much, Trevor. Right, well, there's been some belting encounters between these two sides over the years. Let's relive some of the best goals.
Manager Gary Johnson, who once turned down the chance to manage Coventry, saw new signing Alvaro Saborio make a crucial impact. The Costa Rican supplying Nicky Maynard for an explosive equaliser.
Here's Maynard. Oh, and it's gone in as well. Bristol City lead. It was really their first attack in quarter of an hour. Flick on. Clarkson in, it's a good one as well, and it's gone in! Nyatanga hooks it home. So David Clarkson it is against Westwood, and fires it down the middle, and the roar comes from the Bristol City end because they lead 3-0. Can they find a fourth? Adoma in, here's Elliott! Oh, terrific goal! Excellent move from Bristol City, and an excellent finish from Marvin Elliott. What a terrific way to score a goal and put this game to bed.
Wilbraham looked like he was being fouled. He's still got the ball. Turned into trouble though. Pack might have a shot here. It's low and it's in. Would you believe it? Marlon Pack, making just his second start of the season, rifles it home. Flick on, looking for Agard. He's poked it towards goal, and City double their lead in added time. There's Wade Elliott and Emmanuel Thomas. He's got Wagstaff in the middle, fresh legs. Tries to find Wagstaff, turns inside. Wagstaff! That should seal it for Bristol City. The unbeaten run continues, and Scott Wagstaff sends the fans behind the goal into raptures.
Memories there of that double winning side. Trevor, you'll know many of those players from down the years. It's nice reliving some of those goals.
It is, and you know, I still at times speak with Bobby and Joe from that era, and it's great when I catch up with those boys. It really, really is.
Yeah. Tough encounter today. The likes of Gyökeres up front and Godden as well. Goal scorers, we know, proven at this level too, and then some talented players, and they seem to have a good sort of unity among that team as well for Coventry.
They do, and I think it's going to be really, really important. Those players you mentioned about that were really secure behind the ball. We've really worked hard as a back six probably unit, I think, behind the ball and stop them from penetrating us and hit them on the break. I think that's where we're going to get a bit of success today, when we're secure behind the ball and then penetrate going forwards on the break.
Fantastic. Okay, right, well, we're not too far away from kick-off now. For those of you that are watching us on YouTube and Facebook, the coverage, I'm afraid, does end here. But for those of you that are watching overseas now, you can head to robinstv.bcfc.co.uk and collect your match pass and join us throughout the afternoon for all the action. It's just about time to get ready for kick-off. Can Bristol City come flying out the traps today?